We turn now to Capitol Hill, where despite a Senate deal to avert a partial government shutdown, dozens of federal agencies are still set to see their funding lapse at midnight. Why? I'm glad you asked. Because the deal is moving slowly through the Senate and then needs approval in the House. The House will not return to work in Washington until Monday at the earliest. Our Nikole Killion joins me now from Capitol Hill to break it all down. Nikole, take it away.
Yeah, well, we are on the verge of the Senate moving forward and advancing that government funding package after a few stops and starts here on Capitol Hill. Of course, this after Senate Democrats, namely Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, secured a deal with the White House and with the president to basically split off funding for the Department of Homeland Security. So in essence, lawmakers are voting on 5 appropriations bills to fund agencies like the Defense Department, Labor, HHS, the State Department, Treasury, but they're going to split off the Department of Homeland Security funding, only funded through what's known as a continuing resolution for the next 2 weeks so that they can use that time to negotiate some potential reforms with respect to ICE, which is part of DHS. So that was the deal that was reached. That's what the Senate is voting on. Obviously, the House still needs to vote on these changes, and they won't be back until Monday, so it's possible we'll see a brief funding lapse over the weekend until the House can co-sign on this legislation.
One Senate Republican, Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, stalled this for a few moments or a few hours today. What was that all about?
Yeah, that's right. That was one of the stops or brief stops in terms of this funding debate. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham put a hold on this legislation last night because he had some concerns about it. He felt that it was a bad deal. He is pushing for a vote on a bill that he just introduced to end sanctuary city policies because he believes that's kind of at the root of some of these immigration issues when it comes to enforcement, and believes if we're going to have a debate on reforming ICE, we also need to look at some of the root issues and causes of this, which in his view stems from some of these sanctuary city and state policies. So he was pushing that. He also had some concerns over a provision that was stripped out of the Department of Homeland Security funding bill that was passed in the House, dealing with that Arctic frost investigation where several Republicans saw their phone records seized. Take a listen to what Lindsey Graham had to say about that earlier today on the floor.
You jammed me. Speaker Johnson, I won't forget this. I got a lot of good friends in the House. If you think I'm going to give up on this, you really don't know me.
So obviously, Senator Graham there with some pointed language, particularly at Speaker Johnson, from having that provision stripped out, which would have allowed senators like him to sue the federal government for having their phone records seized up to $500,000. He now has proposed amending that language, and now that Leader Thune has signed off to a potential amendment vote on what Lindsey Graham is suggesting, along with guaranteeing him a vote on his sanctuary city bill, he has now said that he will lift that hold, which is why this package is now moving forward, Major.
Moving forward, a bit glacially, but nevertheless moving forward. Nikole Killion, Capitol Hill, thanks so much.